Oh, hey there. How you doing? Welcome to another Man Talk to Cam or Real Nigga Talk. I don't know what I'm naming this, but it's a yap session show. Basically, it's just gonna be a stream of conscious while I eat my lunch because this is a downtime part of the day until I have to go work. So we'll just be talking. A bit of a recollection with sort of like how the world is moving right now. It feels weird, and I don't know if it's just me. Okay. But if we're talking about pre-COVID or prior COVID, kind of like around that area, it genuinely feels as if like the world split. I was watching a TikTok, I think, and it kind of went over that like same thing. And it was definitely a schizo TikTok. Like definitely what they're saying was just like fluster, but also there is some truth to it. And now I'm not saying like I think that the whole world is like this weird thing where it actually split a parallel universe in like this like science fiction stuff. Like maybe that's true, but more so just generally I think COVID literally fucked the entire world. Like not in just like a average Joe aspect. I mean, like everybody is in some way affected by COVID, whether that be mentally, financially, emotionally, whatever the case may be, physically, I don't know. But I think it changed the courses of people's perception of each other and like human connection and like just like I feel like that human connection it still hasn't resolved. It's like if you've seen a Loki, there's like this part where like the branch of the timeline is like broken and it's dead when he like walks into the this like walkway where the tree branches of reality are, whatever, and one of the branches are like half dead, and he kind of goes out and he brings them all together and he brings life back to them. But I feel like COVID like drifted the realities apart, and now everyone's like the the starvation for human connection has been immense ever since. Now I know it's like it's kind of been normal to not really be too friendly, right? But what I'm getting at is just I feel like there was like a moment where that was actually happening, where people were generally like being a little bit more harmonious, I guess you want to say. And it affected, like COVID was like that moment where it just kind of just destroyed that whole ordeal where people were generally like cool with each other and actively being friends, or not even just that, but like just actively talking to people, having conversations, being normal, like having like that childlike thing. I think Tate had a tweet like this where he says COVID killed everyone's inner child, basically. Now I think that's stupid. I think everyone does have a inner child deep down inside, regardless. Hashtag man child. But I think it did destroy a lot of people's, it didn't destroy mine, but I think it's not said how much that affected people on a fundamental level to the thing. Like I think people are still feeling the withdrawals today, or like those same problems are still happening to them today, whether that be problems with the job market, whether it be friends, family, etc. Like I think it's not talked about, or at least it's kind of belittled, like, oh, we just went through a pandemic. Like, no, we went through a pandemic. That's insane. You always say, like, I remember we learned about like epidemics and stuff in school, but like I never thought you would go through an actual pandemic. And now it's it's sort of virtuous. It feels like everyone's just slugging along, during that gravitational draft, just moving through time now. Everything felt like, at least if you weren't like already thinking about scholar or college or anything like that, or any sort of career, at least you were like, you had friends, you had family, you had human connection, you had like just life. And then COVID happens. Like during COVID, all I was doing, all I can personally say is that I was playing video games, and I was playing video games most of the time and watching YouTube. That's it. I'm reminiscing on nostalgia right now, just because of like a long period of time, or for a long period of time. I just been thinking about human connection is literally going extinct. And I think some of the best moments in terms of human connection were like those, like the old YouTube days. That's what I'm really thinking about. Not to go back to my last video, but similarly, COVID's effects in terms of like it helped people and then it didn't help people. So like if you took advantage of like TikTok, right, doing like those dances, like there's like tweets where like memes are like me it's like me not me it's like I should have been doing TikTok dances and making generational wealth for my family. Those are funny. Which is, it is true, but now it's like it's very gratuitous. And looking back on it, it's either if you took advantage of TikTok or basically social media in general, right? Like whether that was like Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit, a lot of people like took advantage of that moment. Even in Aiden, right? Everybody was like in the house watching content, constantly stuck at home, right? Like you can be near people, etc. And I think that after like the first year or two, it kind of slowly happened, and then that's when they started like bring back stuff, etc. But I still think like those habits are still innately in people. Does that make sense? Like how the world in a second can kind of go from just like normal to pandemonium. And since that is the case, I think that like pre-COVID stray kind of left people astray afterwards, like this draft that you feel, because I feel like you can feel it in just day-to-day activities, how people talk, how people walk, how they act, how they I don't know, just how they even deceitfully continue a sort of holistic motive, or just in general of like basic understanding and human, like it's just a weird nature. It's hard to describe, but I think what I'm trying to get at is that art and creation and you know, things of that nature are what kind of help bring people back together. And the reason why I reference like Supreme Patty, Rice Gum, Lil Tay, all those types of content just during that time frame, which I think that was generally 2016, like that Bad Baby era. I think that's what it was. That right there was like the most naive, childish, cringiness. It was so cringe. Everything was so cringe. Hype Beast, Yeezy, stuff like that. That right there was like, that was everyone's magnus opus for time being, because you kind of were either full video gaming it out with like FaZe Clan, Optic Gaming, FaZe, Drama Alert Drama, whatever, Scarce, Leafy, all that crazy stuff, or you're in the vlogger shit, Casey Neistat, all those people, etc. Or you know, you're on something else, right? And so sort of these aspects are, I guess what you want to say, post-COVID effects, like post-COVID symptoms, which they're good, but they're not good. And I think it did help teach people a lot about the world and how it can operate and how fast it can move and etc. But that also leaves people out of the know. I seen this one TikTok where it's like one of their favorite rage bait tactics is, oh, you must not be in the know. I thought it was pretty funny. Because like, you know, it is true. Hey, you must not be in the know, bro. Are you in the know? You're not in the know. I'm making this because I want to know, or I would want to know, but I'm thinking about what is it going to be like prior, right? Because COVID was half a decade ago. Okay. And I still feel like the effects are still there today, but after that decade, is everything going to be good? What was AI going to be like? Like, for my predictions, I believe AI is basically going to be everywhere. And so like, even though you have like a job crash, so you have like the big beautiful bill that is supposedly going to create a job market crash, and then AI is going to start replacing people with jobs, and then jobs are just going to stop hiring people because they can outsource them. Like, are people going to be able to even make an income like without either breaking the law or doing some like weird mechanism, you know, to finesse the system or something? Like, how is it, what are people gonna do? Like your average person, right? Like, I genuinely don't know. Like, and then you're looking at these like technocrats, these government officials, and they're fully sadistic. They're fully like non-human computation. They don't care. They see every person as a statistic. They see everyone as like a drone, an NPC, literally. And they're like, oh yeah, I have no problem with doing this and destroying the world for my own like financial gain or like for humanity. But most of them not doing it for humanity, they're doing it for robots. And so like there's self-interest in robots. That's all. It's annoying. Yeah, man, I don't know. I think the future has a lot in store. A lot of good, bad, fun, evil, funny, whatever the case may be. I'm just thinking that pre-COVID stain, it's like a stain that stain on that piece of clothing that you can never get off. It's like that. It's like that stain. It's like you can wash it again, but it's still kind of there. You know what I mean? It's still kind of there. It's not going forever, but it's kind of there. And that's the annoying part, is that it's kind of there. I think that's what's happening, is that it's kind of still there, but you're like, fuck it. Like, you don't even care. Nobody really cares, but it doesn't make it's not as seamless as it was before, you know, pre-stain. And generally, I think due time, maybe people start to get back in that motive again, or find solace in trust. Because I think that's the biggest one, is trust, right? Most people are just, they lost trust. They lost trust in the government. They lost trust in basically everything. I think that's what it's, institutions, jobs, everything. They just lost trust, right? That foundation of trust. And I literally have no idea what could solve it. Like another COVID would just make it so, it would make it so everyone would get back together. And I think more people would handle it better. But I don't know if if people would even fall in line how they did before. And it's either through like media or art. This is the only way I think you could bring back not like, oh, everyone's friends now, but like that hunger back. People lost that hunger. Like, so I seen a article that said that YouTube is basically eliminating people from not doing like AI face channels. And I do think that would like solve every YouTube problem ever, because everyone's just doing faceless channels. They're not even on the screen anymore, right? That would solve that YouTube swag. But I think it was more so that was like kind of misinformation. The headline was a little misleading, and it wasn't that they were going to do that. It was more so like certain videos that were like full copy paste, etc., are like not going to qualify or something like that, right? But if you're already in the monetization program, they're going to continue it because it helps YouTube's revenue, etc. But unfortunately, yeah, I think people just prefer anonymity. Yeah, I think it's the word. Other than like just being in front of the camera and, you know, yapping it up, bro. That's what the old YouTube was. Yo, get in that camera, bro. Get your ass in that field, bro. Get on that camera, bro. I'm going to really push it. Like, I'm going to go to my other social media, TikTok, all that. Start YouTube now. There's nobody who wants to be. Why does nobody want to be a YouTuber? Why does nobody want to be a YouTuber, bro? I don't get it. It's so fun. You can upload when you want. You don't have to do it every day. Upload when you want. Make a little funny video. Create a video, and you can look back at it. You know, years from now, you look back and like, whoa, look at that video I did years ago. Yeah, maybe a little cringe. Who cares? Everybody's cringe. Everything's cringe. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Okay? Nobody cares. Look, I think there needs to be a push for effort. Make America effective again. Like, even everybody hates Trump. But like, why does everybody hate Trump now? I understand it, because like, there were a lot of things that he campaigned on, like, yo, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and some of the stuff fell through. Now, respectfully, I didn't vote. One, because I just didn't want to stand in that line, honestly, and two, it's because I just thought what that was gonna be like, I just thought, like, I mean, is he actually gonna do that? Like, how is he gonna do that? Like, how are you gonna move that many people, deport that many? I mean, maybe, but like, how are you gonna? I don't know. It just seemed too good to be true. You know what I'm saying? I fell for too many too good to be true too many times. I can't even speak. But yeah, basically, bro, more people need to get on YouTube, bro. More people need to get on YouTube, and more so, like, just make stuff. I think people don't make stuff. Like I have a lyric in one of my in this in my album called it's on the Taylor Swift track. It goes it's creation, slide out the trance. And what it means is you slide out the matrix, right? This trance that they have you in. When you create more, the more you create, the more you construct reality, right? And now reality is yours to bend because you're now molding it with your whatever it is. And even just talking is creation. That's the thing. And it's one of the most powerful creations. God gave you it to talk, to vibrate. But not to get too philosophical or deep, but I think a lot of people I think what it is academia and work. So people weren't actively like using their brains as much as they needed to, whether that was them like the introduction of AI and or like bad homeschooling and like job curriculum. So basically people are not as effective with like their routine as they may have used to be. And I think sparking back that routine can kind of help fix that. But also that sort of stopped and compartmentalized people's direction and trajectory. And since that is the case, they kind of lost that like that functionality. And what I mean in particular is if you are cognitively having a function of a routine of a workout, wake up, school, academia, right? You're using your brains. People are stopped. I think like people are like bad at reading now is because people are stopped using their brains more. They've like outsourced it. They haven't like gone out and like done the boring activities because you can find solace in boring activities. It's just, it's boring, right? Who really wants to do that? And I'm not saying I don't do that, right? But and so basically it's like the continuum of people doing that on a day-to-day basis will fix that, right? But it's so slow that I think people give up halfway through it. And what I mean is when those function, when like those basic fundamentals are functioning, then you create easily and it's more of a flow state and you create better and you create more, right? But if less people create, then there's more people like think about it like this. Easiest way. You're in theater, right? There's a stage. There's 100 people watching. One of those people are going to go up on that stage, right? And a bunch of people are going to be back there like judgmental and judging that one person, right? But the more people that go on stage, right, there's going to be less judgment on individuals and individualism, and more people are going to be on that stage. I think it's a great synopsis. I think it's kind of what it is. It's like COVID forced people to be out and extracted into the audience, and people had to leave the stage. But people are kind of scared to get back on the stage now, you know? And like, and you know what it is as well, is that people have now figured out, actually, they don't have to be on the stage. They can clone themselves with an NPC and put their NPC on the stage, and now they're going to be on the stage. And I think that's the biggest thing is, right? AI, right? AI is going to destroy everything. So I don't know. It's either companies are going to have to do like better regulation over AI with like how people do it and how much they can exploit content with it. Or because there's always gonna be regulations like, oh, this guy used AI for like this thumbnail, or he used AI for this, right? And then they're like, oh, wasn't right. But other than that, that's really it. I mean, it's kind of gonna talk about like COVID kind of just it's fucking everyone still. I think it's still fucking everyone, and nobody talks about it. So that's kind of it. Okay, that's another episode of Real Nigga Talk, or what did I call it before? Man in front of cam, man in cam, man cam, manhole cover, manhole cover. I got me a manhole cover. All right, y'all. That's me. That's me. Quick yap session. Quick yap session. So I appreciate all my huggers and kissers out there watching this video, and I'll probably have a more structured video later. But that's it. So I'll see you when you're older. Peace.